this movie.
Damn. Alright. That definitely seems very depressing, like right
If
after
your
the
local
war.
Hello, fellow anime lovers. In this video, we're going over 10 anime that will take you on an unexpected emotional journey. Every show on the list will have you in tears of joy or sadness. So buckle down and get ready for the first.
Chat, I don't know if I'm ready for this. It's gonna be sad. I tend to get like very
First anime on the list.
upset when I like watching stuff, like sad stuff. Did it got crushed?
あれがひなずきを見た最後の姿だった。
At number
it's
10,
Erased.
it's Erased.
I've heard it's
Erased
really
is
good.
a relatable anime that focuses on self-reflection within the heart and mind.
I've heard it's
The main
great.
protagonist, Satoru, is depicted as a depressed 29-year-old. He doesn't open up to people and doesn't have any close friends. However, he's a good person who's willing to go that extra mile to help people in danger. The game changer in this series is how the main character undergoes a phenomenon called revival. This typically puts the main character back in time whenever something bad happens. Erased is a unique anime because it showcases crimes that happen around the main character as he struggles to ultimately change destiny by rewriting events in order to prevent.
Wait, so if something bad happens, can you like rewind the time and kind of try to fix it? Is that what's going on here?
Tragedy.
Time travel?
Satoru?
嘘だろ
Bro, did she just get stabbed? Whoa! Before you continue, make sure to give this video a like and subscribe. Only about 1% of the people watching these videos are subscribed. Also, check out my Twitch and Discord down in the description. Bye. Yes? Chat, I can already tell this is gonna be sad.
At number 9, we have Anohana. Anohana is a show about emotional high school students coming to terms with guilt and dealing with their struggles. Similar to Erased, the main character doesn't have many friends in the beginning of the series and feels like
why does no one have friends?
He isn't noticed by anyone,
Too
even at school.
relatable, man.
He's
Too
the
relatable.
definition of an introvert. He used to have a ton of friends back in the day, but once his childhood friend Menma and his mum passed away, everything changed.
Alright, Peter. Take care, my dude. I appreciate you watching.
Started slacking in school and failed all of his exams, putting him in the lowest tier schools within the area. One day he actually sees Menma in his house and thinks he's hallucinating until he starts interacting with her. This show really touches.
Finally, after 2 years, he gets a haircut.
His home with nostalgic feelings of the past with flashbacks of wholesome memories with everyone as kids when life was easier. This anime is great because you can see the change in clique dynamics as the plot progresses when the high school students retrace their steps into their forgotten bonds of friendship.
What the f? Okay. Just hits you right with it.
花俺が何に見える
At number 8, it's Wolf Children. When a werewolf man and a human woman love each other very much.
Okay, like I like anime, but this is definitely not the type of anime I'll watch.
Tiny werewolf babies, apparently.
This
and then Dad gets himself killed, leaving one human parent to raise two tiny wolf monstrosities. Note, we aren't calling them monstrosities because they're wolves. We're calling them that because they're babies. Poor mum is on her own with these little handfuls as they're constantly switching between their human and wolf forms. One of the children, Yuki, begs her mum to let her participate in school, while the other, Ame, is more interested in the forest and ends up taking lessons from a fox about surviving 100%. In the wild. This is a very emotional story because it shows the perspective of a mother caring for her children and watching them go their separate ways growing up. It illustrates an emphasis on building relationships and trust as they have to hide their true wolf identities from the public while figuring out what they want to do with their lives.
Wolf Children? Interesting. Guess it's more psychological.
At number 7, it's The Garden of Words. The Garden of Words is a short story about 15-year-old schoolboy Takao Akizuki. One day, Takao decides to skip school when it's raining and go and sit in a park. Here he meets Miss Yukino, a woman who's skipping work because of personal problems, and he eventually forms a strong connection with her. Takao would always
I don't think you can skip work.
Look forward to whenever it
You
rains
get
because they were
fired.
both. Eventually, the rainy season comes to an
Okay.
end and he doesn't see her for months, but she's constantly on his mind. Yukino's tale is a depressing one as it spurs the main protagonist's emotions to stand up for who he believes her to be.
その少女の存在は密かに隠されていた。
These are not so sad, I guess. These two first were really
だが
sad.
その少女を知る者は彼女を武器だと言った。
These are more like the characters are very lonely.
心を持たないただの道具だと。
At
Violet
number 6,
Evergarden.
we have Violet Evergarden. Violet Evergarden begins with a girl named Violet who's been in hospital for 4 months after the war. At first, her hands are bandaged, but it's then revealed that her arms are made of adamant steel when she spills
damn,
hot tea
okay.
on them at her new home in the Evergarden Estates.
Well, it's actually kind of
Violet is
interesting.
taken in by the lieutenant who shows her the ropes. Ultimately, Violet decides to become an auto-memory.
Wait, does the doll represent her body?
Violet is taken in by the lieutenant who shows her the ropes. Ultimately, Violet decides to become
Kinda
an
looks like it.
auto-memory doll who can write letters for people working in the same building. Violet doesn't feel emotions like everyone else and has trouble learning what it means to feel them.
So is she kind of like a robot, I
She
guess?
goes through the story trying to
Like
learn
an
the ways
android?
of the world, not as a tool meant for
Seems like it a
destruction,
little bit.
but as a normal human being that can comprehend and understand feelings. It's a great anime that everyone should look into if you like great animations, music, and complex plots about self-expression. The music and animation is
I feel like this anime is very intense. Like,
beautifully created, and it does well to
in,
heighten the somber
emotion and,
setting
like,
of the
psychological
post-war
ways.
time period.
there's probably a lot of heavy stuff in this. Yo, PLSum. What up, man?
Your Lie in April.
No, I've heard this.
Your Lie in April is a beautifully animated love story
Bro, all these sad animes just look
based
so
around
pretty.
a piano-playing prodigy named Kosei. He's a 14-year-old boy who's determined to make sure no one ever falls in love with him. Although he's just a middle schooler, the light
What?
in his eyes has been taken away because of his mother's death. As opposed
Oh,
to his friend
okay.
Tsubaki, who sees a world full of color, he sees everything in monotone. He's having a hard time coming
but
to
she's
terms
dead.
with playing after being abused by his mother and her passing, who ultimately changes his outlook on life as she challenges him to cope with the past and play music again. The situations portrayed in this show are emotional roller coasters that illustrate how you can
That's kinda
overcome
what it seems
anything
like
if you
a little
set
bit.
your mind to it.
Oh, bro, imagine having a supportive friend. What?
あの日星が降った日
まるで
I think
夢
I've
の
seen
景
this.
色のように
Dude, this anime is like 8K. It's great.
美しい眺めだった
It's probably one of the best or like better looking animes I've seen. I guess it's a
At
film.
number
so.
4, we have Your Name. Your Name is an endearing tale of fate and love, beautifully animated and brimming with emotion-plucking details that are sure to have you laughing, crying, or a solid mix of the two. The main
Okay.
characters are genuine and easy to fall in love with right off the bat, with their dialogue providing an atmosphere to the story and insight into the way they live their lives.
I know this anime won so many awards,
The
dude.
two characters centered in this complicated relationship are high schoolers Mitsuha and Taki, both of whom live vastly different lives. Mitsuha serves as a dancing shrine maiden in her rural mountain town, while Taki waits on tables at a bustling upscale restaurant in
insane.
Tokyo. They meet each other through an odd supernatural phenomenon in which periodically, when they wake up, they've swapped bodies. It's not something they have control over, so they do their best not to royally mess up one another's livelihoods. They even manage to make some improvements along the way. The timing couldn't have been better for their fates to cross, as major events challenge them to push the limits of what they can do as individuals. This movie is definitely one that everyone should see if you enjoy watching love stories showcased in
Now,
a
I'm not really into like
creative way.
romance stories, but definitely the animation
俺と
looks insane.
西宮友達になれるかな
It's more like
At
3D,
number
2D,
3,
I
a
guess.
silent voice. Also known as the Shape of Voice, this team starts off on a heavier note with lead Shoya
take it for
Ishida in the edge of a bridge about to jump to his death.
I don't know. I feel like this compilation is less about like actual sad stuff, like people dying, more about I don't know, making friends and
As
shit.
he comes to his senses, we flash
Hello.
back and begin to relive Ishida's elementary school days as a bully, all of which started when the class was introduced to new student Shoko Nishimiya, a deaf girl who recently transferred but was just trying her best to live a normal life and fit in. As for the plot,
Does she
we
get
don't
bullied?
want to give too much away because the real story unfolds from the emotions and the actions of each individual character and the battles
makes
they
sense.
fight within themselves and with their inner demons. The recurring themes of coming to terms with uncontrollable transformations formed over the years of each character's experiences
I feel like whatever like really gets you as a person is what you can relate to, right? So for example, if something happened sad in anime that happened to you in your life,
and how it challenges
can
each
really
of their own
relate to it.
unrelenting standards of themselves is the real story here. The film isn't afraid to make you feel emotions a lot of other movies and stories are too afraid to touch. I hope you find the time to experience this one for yourself.
very good but really sad / hard. Yeah, definitely seems like one of those depressing.
At number 2, we have Grave of the Fireflies. Grave of the Fireflies is a Studio Ghibli classic that turns away
think I've
magic
seen
and
this.
fantasy to reveal the gruesome realities of the war. The story takes place during World War II and
Elsim,
showcases the
yo.
struggle of siblings Seita and Setsuko, who must
I think this one might be actually on Netflix.
fend for themselves in a world of firebombs and famine.
This one's very popular.
From burns to beatings to psychological distress, Grave of the Fireflies shows a darker side to humanity as well as its light. Catch it during Ghibli Fest if your local theaters host it, and be sure to know what you're getting into with this movie.
Damn. All right. That definitely seems very depressing. Like
Fest,
right
if
after
your
the
local
war,
theaters host it, and be sure to know what you're getting into with this movie.
the whole town's destroyed.
Fellow snot faucet criers, please bring copious amounts of tissues, because this one is an absolute tearjerker.
I don't think I've ever seen an anime movie in a theater.
この街は嫌いだ。
Number 1.
忘れたい思い出が染みついた場所だから。
And finally, at number 1, Clannad and Clannad After Story. Clannad starts off with a rather depressing tone with phrases such as, "I hate this town," and how it's filled with too many memories that the main protagonist would rather forget. He wonders
I've
if his
heard this.
mundane, boring lifestyle will ever change, and then he meets a shy girl talking to herself on the way home named Furukawa Nagisa. He offers her advice to go out and find her own happiness, and that initial connection starts their uphill journey to recruit people
Becoming
into the
best
drama
friends.
club they're trying to revive. From the get-go, you meet Okazaki's roommate Yuhei Sonohara. Sonohara does a good job to bring in comic relief throughout all the emotional strings being pulled throughout the show, with the relationships Okazaki starts to form
Why
with
is
his
she kicking
drunken
him?
father who treats him like a stranger. Despite these family problems, the anime is actually quite wholesome and gives you a sense of satisfaction when continuing through the plot through his school relationships and his new friend Nagisa. If you enjoy a nice slice of life anime with a strong sense of emotional self-reflection, then I would highly recommend Clannad.
See, I probably wouldn't really care about this one, but watching like the post-war, the Grave of Flies,
So what do you
I'll
guys
probably
think of this
fucking cry, to be honest. I think that'll get me. Thank you for watching this video, and also thank you very much to all of my supporters over at Patreon. If you'd like to see these videos earlier, head on to Patreon, and if you want to see more videos, click the videos here and here for more videos from me.